Today's job, I'm going to dig up all of these leeks, and it's quite late in the afternoon though, so if I've got time once I've done that before it goes dark, the next thing I will be doing hopefully is I'm just going to add a little bit of compost or manure, depending which of the two I've got enough of, and then hopefully I'll be covering it with cardboard as well. Now Brian recently said that there's no point waiting for these leeks to grow on, because he's right in a way what he's saying. When they do start growing on, when spring returns, they will throw up a flower spike because they're in the second year, and that basically means you get a thick, solid, hard green stem in the middle of the leek, which takes away the part of the actual leek that we eat, which is the reason we grow it. But he's not wrong. But I've always done this with my leeks. I let them, those that are bits on the small side, I leave them in till spring, and you've just got to be quick catching them before they throw that flower spike up, because they will bulk out a little bit more when they start to regrow. But our plans have changed for the use of this patch of land, so we're going to get rid of the leeks now, and then I'll prepare it ready for the spring for something completely different, rather than still having some leeks sitting in it for 4, 5, 6 weeks. We'll just get rid of them now. So for those of you that answered a recent question of mine, both on YouTube and on Instagram, thank you. You have told me that my Brussels sprouts have blown, and you give me a couple of the reasons which can cause that to happen. So people like Tony from UK Here We Grow, you let me know that. Thank you very much. If you look at the top, there's a few that are salvageable. They're not all as extreme as this one here, which has opened up like a rosette. So there are a few that are salvageable. So at some point, time, weather and daylight permitting, I will be taking off what I can of these sprouts, and then just pulling out the plants and getting rid. So thank you guys for letting me know that. Thanks very much. If this is your first time that you've grown leeks and now you've come to harvest them, learn from my hard-earned experience. It's so much better for the leek if you put your fork a few inches next to it and loosen the soil that way, and then the leek will just easily slide out of your soil, as opposed to just yanking the leek up and out. That's how we used to do it, and is it any wonder why lots of them were snapping and we couldn't use them? We couldn't even find the base of them that had snapped in the soil, and then when we did, it was no good, because the part where the plant had snapped was covered in mud. So now this is how we take our leeks out. I can highly recommend it. Nothing happens in this clip, just enjoy the sounds of nature. It's a very YouTubey thing to do, I know, but I'd left on purpose that one last leek just so I could show you harvesting the last leek. Why I felt the need to stop, get the camera out and film it, I'm not quite sure, because I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have a YouTube channel. But hey, it's YouTube. Right, that's all the leeks out now. There's a little bit of grass and dandelions up at the top end, but certainly all the leeks are out. And apart from that top end, I've been weeding as I've been going along. And one thing that I've noticed is that the soil is wonderful. It's what a texture, what a condition that soil's in. And I think the reason is using my RLBS way of managing crop rotation. Last year, before we planted the leeks out, we'd had potatoes in there. So two main things jump out of that for me is the fact that, one, before we put the spuds in, I mixed a load of manure onto the soil. And then the second thing is, as we all know, growing potatoes, it's what some people call a cleaning crop, because there's quite a bit of digging and earthing up involved, and then when you come to harvest as well, a lot more digging. It breaks the soil down wonderfully well into, you know, a really nice tilth, and the depth of the soft tilth on this, it's really quite deep. That fork's been going in there no problem, but it isn't kind of like, I'm not worried about it in the sense that, oh, it's that fine it's going to wash away. It's full of organic matter that's helping bind it together without becoming clayey. It's just wonderful. It's in such a good condition. So it works, guys. It works. Yeah, right, what I'll do is, while I'm rabbiting on telling you about this, about how nice my soil is where I've just pulled the leeks up from, there should be a card up at the top of the screen, and it'll take you to my RLBS crop rotation system. It'll take you to that video. Right then, I reckon I've got about half an hour, perhaps a little bit longer left before it goes pitch black. So very quickly, I'm going to try and get this covered over. So I've got all the leeks in there. I'll take them home, clean them, get the mud off them, chop the ends with the roots off. And at this moment right now, I'm not sure what we're going to do with them. There's a few things we could do with them. We could literally just chop them up, put them in freezer bags and freeze them as they are, or we could dehydrate them and store them dried in jars where I can throw handfuls into various soups every time we make a soup. So don't know yet, don't know, we'll see. Right, and then here is where the leeks were, now covered, all covered, just to try and stop some weeds from taking hold, because as I said before, it was in fairly good condition, that soil. So it's a nice bed, is that. I want to try and keep it that way. So that cardboard will stay on until the spring comes, and if it hasn't rotted away by then, we'll just pull up whatever's left, put it on the compost pile, and then we can get planting. Yeah, I just come on spring, really. I can't wait. Right then, I'm going to go now. It's getting dark. I hope you can make out the colours in the sky of the sunset as the sun's going down over there over Morecambe Bay. It's giving me a fantastic light show. Right, let's get on before it gets dark. I get scared walking around on the allotment in the dark by myself. Ruby's helping me out. She's doing it to earn some pocket money. She's just cutting off the bit with the roots on. We're not going to do anything with those. And then on the green leaves, she's basically making a cut up until the point where the leaf starts to go a bit manky. So we're getting rid of the manky bits. We'll compost those, and then so if you can see here, here's one that she's already done. Look, she's got a nice little bit of good green leaf on there, and then we're going to chop them up and put them into freezer bags.
Dad,
yes, Roo.
fine. It's like little.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, hang on, sorry, show the camera.
Look, it looks. Compared
Yeah,
to white,
there is a bit of a colour on it, but
yeah.
it feels fine, doesn't it? Right, brilliant. Right, I'll let you carry on, Roo, because I've still got loads of leeks to wash. Quick fingers check. How many have you got?
Oh.
Yep, they're all still there. Good girl. Safety first, fun never. Washed, trimmed, chopped. We've got 4 bags for the freezer, with which we can get out a bag at a time, throw it into a pan, let it defrost with some other vegetables that we've grown. More likely than not, they'll be dehydrated vegetables, and we add some water, we make a lovely vegetable soup with them. Or we could use these for stocks as well as soup. We've got a few options with what we can do with it, but for about an hour's work this afternoon, Not a bad return there, really. So into the freezer they go. Just in case there's anybody from Amnesty International watching this and they're worried about child labour, me exploiting young Ruby for working, right, she can always say no, and she frequently does say no. And it's not all work, this little clip here. Unfortunately, because I don't want to get pinged for copyright, I've turned the volume down. But we're making a music video, we're miming to a well-known pop song. Right then, thank you very much for watching. See you later, guys.